Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yo, what's up?
It's your boy Blitz.
And I'm your boy Blitz&Blurr.
All right, yo. Welcome to another episode of GCE Play. This is our third and final review for the Outriders game.
This is part what?
Part 3.
What?
3. You got... Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go. You
Okay.
3. Yo, thank everybody who followed the video so far. Leave your comments. That's been supporting us
Thank
for the
you.
Outriders franchise. It's been out, but we do it our own little way.
That's
Hopefully
right.
you enjoy it. And, you know, like, subscribe, and share, and everything like that. But, yo, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right, so the first 2 reviews, we showed you how we felt about the beginning. Then we covered the characters, the gameplay, the graphics, the sound, and everything. Second review, we covered the character and story progression so far.
And we put in the second review, which should have been in the first review, is all the classes.
The different classes.
The classes you can be.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, you know you like school on a Saturday.
Wow.
No class.
Shut up.
All right.
Dude, that is so lame. That's lame. You can't do it right.
All right, so anyway, so we covered the classes and we covered the game up from the after the first act all the way up to the forest.
Right.
So this last review is going to be from the forest to the end game content.
Right.
All right, so the whole game proper.
Papa.
All right, so let's start off with the first item we're going to cover today.
Today we're going to cover how well did the character hold up from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. And we're going to ask Mr. Blitz to give us his perspective, and I'll give mine.
Well, you'll see.
So I like the character in the beginning. He had a couple corny lines, that you pointed out, but I still felt the gravitas of.
Did you just use gravitas?
Gravitas of his presence when he came into a situation.
Hold on, do you have your cell phone on you for that word? Because you don't remember.
It's in there, man. It's in there.
Okay.
It's in there. Gravitas. But the way he carried himself in that first portion of the game, so he really started stepping to his own, and he was like, "Look, when he stepped into the situation, I'm coming taking over." And certain parts of it was kind of silly when he's like, "Y'all stay in the truck, and I'll walk through the desert on a horse for no name," and he's like, "You stay in the tank, and I'll walk outside here and see what's going on." No, absolutely not. That was crazy. But his character developed to a point, and he didn't seem endearing. You did side quests to get rewards. It wasn't like he was doing it just to help people. In some cases you did, but it was his character was more like no nonsense, I'm getting it done.
I think the character started off pretty decent. I think by the time you get to the end of the game, it's very tropey, and you're gonna hear that a lot. Just the stoics of them. I'll do this, I'll do that, and then it's like they really never built the character up to be this mega outrider.
Well,
you know
he had to be, because he has the worst crew in the entire history of video games.
Hold up, yeah, that's a side tangent. Go ahead. Let
These Bammers. When he up there fighting, so if you're doing a single player mode, it's even worse, right? We were doing cross-play. So we was able to have like 3 of us in there do certain missions. But think about these missions that he's doing, and everybody else is in the tank, and then he goes out and clears entire bases, and then they come in with guns. Okay, yeah, I cover the door. No. I mean,
the side characters were not there to do much, but be like.
Nah, they were props.
They were props.
Story props.
And you can buy some stuff from them, and get quests from them from now and then.
Yeah, other than that, they're useless. They're not gonna help you in the fight.
So I think the character, to me, by the end of the game, I was kind of like losing interest in the character. The middle of the game still had promise, but the character is one-dimensional. It's like some people acting skills is one-dimensional. They can only play one character, and this character had no kind of flavor,
gravitas.
It had none of that.
He didn't wow me and grow to a completely different person by the end. He pretty much kept that one note throughout the whole thing. But that kept a steady note. I knew what to expect from him. He didn't flip the script and be like, he didn't trope himself out and be like, look, man, I care about you guys. I want you guys to make it. If one of his characters died, he was like, oh, I'm still going to find out what the signal is. He's like, well, we can all get killed. And he was like, look, you want out? Now's the time to do it. But I'm going to find out the signal. I'm seeing to the end.
So for me, the character, and he liked. I mean, for both of us, I liked the character, but the character. By the time you got to the end of the game, you was like, I wanted to see another side of the character. By the time you got there, you know.
I like his steadiness. How I knew what to expect. He was the same character the whole game.
What about story?
Story was.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit.
It's like a fat man doing a centipede.
Oh, that would be more like a seesaw.
Yeah, that's a.
Isn't that what they
yeah,
do?
because up 1 minute, down the next minute.
Yeah, that'd be more like a seesaw.
Yeah.
So story wise, I think the story it was a very ambitious story. I think they went for a big bite. The concepts were there.
Mm-hmm.
It had some really good concepts.
Right.
The way it was put together, though, I think there was a couple of misses in there.
As you about to find out, before we go any further, there will be spoilers in this last part of the review, so we can give you our full thoughts and how we really feel about. So, if you don't want to hear no spoilers, don't go beyond this point. Yeah. But right now, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I'll try not to touch too much on
No, we gotta deal with it because that's part of the story.
Okay. All right. So what I mean, but there was some misses in there. All right. Number one, it's a lot of content you're trying to figure out. You're trying to solve multiple mysteries in one, and I think it's ambitious to do it that way. But it wasn't clear at times what you were doing. In some cases, and when you kind of find out what you were doing, did it really make sense all the time? Not necessarily so, but I can kind of understand storyboard wise what they were going for. It was just a couple of misses in the way it was done.
I think also, like when we did we had to find the obelisk for the guy that was in the mask.
The Traveler?
Yeah, the Traveler. The Wanderer.
Yeah.
The thing is, I wish there was a bigger payoff. I wish there was something that you got from that quest instead of him stabbing the guy over and over again. Heal. So I think for me, some of the quests should have had a bigger payoff.
When I found all the obelisks in the forest, and they were just like, okay, congratulations. Here's some crappy items you can.
Yeah,
it was
I think this should have been. I think this should have been bigger payoff. I think every time you touch the obelisk, you should have got more anomaly power. Every time you did something that dealt with the anomaly, you should have gained new abilities or something that would have helped you out during your questing and doing the stuff. So a lot of the side quests, there's not a good payoff, and a lot of it feeds into the main story. So it ain't like, some of them. Like the historian quest,
which is good.
The historian quest kind of.
I like when the side quests affect the main story. I like that.
So my thing is, there wasn't a really big payoff from the obelisk. Now, when you do the hunts and you do other things within the story, those are bigger payoff because if you kill all the monsters that they ask you to kill, you do get some decent items for that.
Now, I think those are put in there for replayability because the items you're not gonna get any legendaries from doing those.
Hold on. Just pause that right. Listen to me. The world scaling suck. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the world scaling is like you get up to it was like 11. It says 300%, 280%,
350%
legendary
drop possibility.
Hey, guess what? We didn't get one legendary. And how many hours did we play? Shut up. Why did you get that one?
I got one. I was my guy was like level 20. I went up 4 levels and got 1 legendary.
How many hours?
4 levels.
How many hours did we play?
Days, probably. I mean, that one day we played, I went up 2 levels.
Right.
2 or 3 levels. We played, I don't know, 4
So
5
my
hours.
thing is, I understand legendary is supposed to be hard to get, but when you say 200 and what was it again?
It's like 350.
350
increase.
out of 1% of.
But it's particular bosses I believe you have to do to get it, which is findable in the system.
My problem is, don't tell me 350% more better to get a legendary and I don't get nothing.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, it was odd like that.
It should be one legendary hour.
Yeah, and still dealing in the story.
Go ahead.
Dealing with how the story progressed, I I found it was kind of goofy that I would get these high, because they make you grind to build up your gear and your weaponry, so you can do. That's why you do the hunts. The hunts and stuff like that, and the bounty hunters are replay. It's for replay purposes,
Right.
And it's for purposes of building up your character, so you can, because you can even go back and do the quest. You can farm the quest, so to speak.
Right.
Build up your character to a point to handle boards better, whether you're teaming up with somebody or whether you're rocking it solo. It gives you a chance to handle your tier. So when you go and do that and you get weapons, when you do the main mission weapons, the main bosses, stuff like that, your gear is usually less. Like, I have blue items with 1 perk, heavily outweighing purple items that I would get
With 2
for
perks.
completing mission boss.
And sometimes the 2 perks, you don't want to get rid of them because they are actually very good perks on the mods that you get. The mods that you get are very good mods.
Yes.
But back to story. So I think story progressed okay. It was some hit and misses. As we get into the last part of this, you'll understand why when we talk about the final boss and what we think. I think they rushed the story. Not only did they rush the story, I think certain parts of the story should have been a little bit longer for a little bit more exposition. I'm not talking about that bad exposition, but exposition so you can get to understand, because there's a lot of things that they kind of gloss over.
Yeah,
You know, it's kind of like they gloss
I think the
over,
purpose
gloss
of
over.
that is the pushing the post game content, which I think we'll touch to.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, playing the expeditions and stuff like that, because the story does go further. But in that story, I think they rushed it a little bit. You know, I think they rushed it to get you to the end. They rushed it, and then the setup. And we're going to get to that. It didn't pay off. The setup didn't pay off. It did not pay off. What do you think? Did the setup pay off? When you got to the end, was you like, my God? Or you was like, oh, really? That's what it really? Truthfully, because when I saw it, I was like this. You know, I was like, okay. And then when I was like, oh.
Yeah, and it was Captain Morgan. No, Captain Monroe.
Yeah, Monroe.
Monroy. I felt like it was kind of, because at first I thought it was us. I thought it was future or past versions of us that we were fighting at some point.
And
Because
that
like,
would've been-
that's an Outrider
Hold
symbol.
on. But that would have been kind of better than what we got.
Yeah, it was kind of. We had to cover that when we go out. Yeah, yeah. When we get to tropiness, I guess we have to cover that. We talk about the tropes. All right. So next thing we're going to talk about points. Speaking of points, the waypoint and tracking system was at
As far as quests,
very
janky.
very frustrating.
Very janky.
Because like the librarian stuff that you had to find, you can't mark it, you can't highlight it, you can't set waypoints. If you go into an area, the entire area is highlighted. It doesn't even tell you what part of the area you're in. It just hits the center point where it names the city or your flag that you put down. And so your flag can be down in the middle of this area, and you don't know if you're close to where that artifact is, and then even on top of that, when you trying to do side missions and stuff like that, it doesn't tell you necessarily that you're not in the right area, that you can't even do it yet. Like it'll point you to Jacob. You'll go to Jacob. You'll fast travel to where he is. Then once you fast travel where he is, you leave and you see that, oh, tell me to go back to Jacob again.
Right.
Because you haven't unlocked that part of the board yet.
They just should have said a lot. And on top of that, sometimes we'll be in the area. It'll tell us to go back into that area. Now, and the waypoint is trying to tell us to go over the mountainside, because sometimes you can see the next portion of the board that you need to go through.
But you can't. You haven't unlocked it yet
can't get
because
there.
you haven't got the mission to do it.
Right.
But the waypoint to take you right through there, and you're like, I can't even go that way. What are you doing?
So the waypoint tracking is janky. It sucks. Also, we didn't like the cover system. The cover system was janky. There's been time I've been trying to cover. I hit the button. I'll step over it to cover.
Yeah, I thought it was my controller, but when he said he was having the same problems, I was like, oh, so it's not me.
Nah, that cover system, they need to work out or fix whatever's wrong with the cover system.
It may be something we can do in the settings.
It might be, but man,
Sensitivity
a lot of time I was stepping over, like I'll get there and I'll be hiding and then I'll do something and then my guy will get up in the middle of fire. I can take these bullets and step over. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I took a lot of unnecessary damage because I go in the cover, and then I go to aim because I'm about to pick my next target, and before I hit the L trigger button to actually pull my guy out and aim, he just stand up like, "What y'all doing over there? Are those cupcakes? Can I get some cupcakes? I like cupcakes."
Peekaboo.
Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, why you standing up?"
So the cover system is janky. Another thing that we're going to deal with right now is the tropiness. It's a lot of tropes in it. It's tropey. It's every.
Now, by tropiness, which if you guys know what we're talking about the cookie cutter, predictable thing we're kind of doing. For an example, if you're watching a horror movie, especially from the 90s, and there's a woman running, and there's a monster chasing her, she's going to fall. And that is a trope.
There's a titanium bladed piece of grass that she's going to hit that magically appears when women run through grass. Yeah. They don't know where it comes from.
It's not even grass. They just trip.
Trip.
I don't know why they even put those in movies still. I don't know.
So, it's so many tropes in there. It's like, you're like, oh, nothing surprises you. It's like,
so
you're waiting for a surprise and you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's how we're going to do it? Okay.
Yeah, when you can kind of in your mind formulate and perceive what's going to happen before you even get to the next part of the game or the chapter or the next portion of the story, that kind of steals the thunder.
Every time you get to a new place, something major bad happens. So you never walk into a place and you're like, oh wow, okay,
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, woo, we made it. No. One hardship after another hardship after another hardship. You got to the point that every new area you went to, there was a hardship.
Yeah, you drive it in the forest, and out of this forest, and everybody in the forest, this creature finds you. Like after you beat the lava spider butt.
Everything got a butt to it though. Even the what is it called? Alkaloid?
Crystalloid.
Crystalloid got a butt to it.
So right before you get to the crystalloid,
the crystalloid finds you.
You drive into a forest area. This is an area. You're not driving into a building or a police station like a Resident Evil or mansion. You're in an entire forest, and this thing finds you the second you pull into the forest and knocks your truck over. So that felt kind of tropey. It felt like, all right, we're going to make this happen so you can fight this creature. Now, I would have fought the creature eventually. I would have found it. Or maybe you can rescue somebody that was in trouble.
We get past the big doors. Get out there. We have to fight these little beasts. Then two big monster beasts comes out. Two little doggy beasts, the ones that crash into each other. We had to fight them before we get to the door. Mm-hmm. Then we get past the door and have to fight the fire versions of the same beast. Remember? So it's a lot of stuff you're like, dude, can we just get to a place? Till you get there, we already said spoilers. Oh, there's a fire over there. I gotta go check. Whoa. You're the most powerful person in our group. Why would you leave the group?
So he's talking about when you finally get through the forest, fight the crystalloid and whoop everybody, and who's at the end of the forest? Who's the boss at the end of the forest? Oh, it was just that board. You had to fight 1,001 people.
Right.
Whatever. The giant sponges, we call them, because they eat so many bullets. It's ridiculous. So
they eat them joints like Tic Tacs.
Yeah. You finally open the doors, get out of the forest.
And there's nothing but sand.
Go through the desert on a horse with no name. So you get through the desert, and then as soon as you break camp, there's a fire over there. You guys stay here. I'm going to go check it out. That's what he's talking about. Come on, man. And then when you go check it out, they get kidnapped. They're the most useless crew.
Not even just that.
Useless.
First of all, how did the monsters know you're going to be there? How did they know you were going to come over there? And all those people now, Jakob is an outrider. He knows how to handle a gun, supposedly. How did he get caught?
Useless.
The hunter guy, who's supposed to know how to hunt.
Useless. Yeah. The big dude.
The only one that should have been useless
in the wheelchair
is the wheelchair girl, but they put her in a wheelchair so you can feel sorry for her, so everybody can be represented.
So she can join a crew and everybody be good with each other.
So,
all right, anyway, that's just trope. We can do a whole video on tropiness.
So now the next thing, crossplay is working, but it's glitchy.
Yeah.
Let's just deal with that.
There was some lag in there where I was fighting an enemy, or actually onslaught of like 4,000 enemies. Why were we doing stuff on the highest tier? I don't know, but we was doing it because we stupid. And literally 300 people were trying to kill me on this board. And I'm getting up, and the big monster that hardens a rock and then try to jump on you like a monster version of the Devastator.
Right.
When he went to jump, I went to back out of the way so I could set him up with some turrets with my Technomancer, and I glitched, and I rolled, but I didn't. I disappeared for a second, and when I popped up, he was on top of me, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?" So it was a lot of little glitch, but crossplay is not the easiest thing to pull off, which they finally did fix. And I don't want to be too sore about it because I'm just glad I can ball with my boy on different systems and we can get our different peers in.
I mean, I think it's just like some of the I wasn't shooting. It was like it was sounding like, but there was nothing coming out.
Yeah, remember that guy was inside the wall?
Yeah.
We saw the red dot on the map. We was like, "Where's this last dude at?"
He's inside the wall.
And I go to the back of the thing. His like leg and arm is hanging out the wall, and I was like, "Oh crap! How am I gonna kill this dude?"
One of the guys, Don, that plays with us, his character kept on disappearing.
Yeah, he was invisible.
He was invisible. Couldn't shoot the gun, but could use all his powers. We had to wait for that. So I'm not saying that crossplay is bad. It's good. We have fun with it. But some of the glitches, they have to work out the glitches.
All right. So this next topic we're going to cover, and not mind you, full recognition to the game company People Can Fly. It's a great game, but we have to be honest reviewers for how we feel personally. Our feelings and reviews aren't necessarily yours, but we're just giving you ours because this is our format. All right? Boom. So now we're going to cover. Now you have some interesting points. Now the last boss was Yagat, and Yagak, because every time he would kill us in that particular mission, I'd be like, "You got served."
Yep.
Because he was kicking our butts. So that's how I pronounce it. Yagat. So you saying that he was not a worthy final boss?
You fight him.
Spoilers.
You fight him because he kills one of your members. I'm gonna keep that a secret.
Yeah.
And you actually fight him. He gets away. Now how he gets away, I don't know, because he just breaks something. But you got powers. You could just move it out and
was that even a door right there?
No, he just broke a pillar and the pillar fell. You should have been able to stop it, move it over, and still yank his heart out. But
I was so hot.
I digress.
So hot at that. I was so hot.
That person you fight after one of your people, he kills one of your people, is the last boss. Now, this is what made me mad. That last boss was not earned. Everything you're leading up to the desert, leading up to the end of the game, is talking about a guy by the name of Monroy. All the atrocities he did, what he did to the native people. Yeah. You find letters about him,
which caused Yaakov to come to be.
Right, because
another spoiler is the Pax, which was the natives to the planet.
Right.
The only way they could fight back against Monroy, which was killing them and taking advantage of them,
was changing themselves to become stronger
into the pharaohs.
To the pharaohs. So now you got the pharaohs. So you got this boss at the last. You got all this stuff coming up. Monroy. So now we get to the last part of the game, and I'm like, okay, we got the final boss. Okay, we're gonna do this. And Monroy gets shot in the head.
Yeah, she smokes him.
Smokes him.
Now,
I mean, like a pack of cheap cigars.
Now, hold on. It was pretty boss on her part, but it was kind of cruddy too.
Right.
So another thing about that. So when you get to the point.
Oh, we already said that at the beginning.
After you fight Yagat. After you fight him and he gets away again. Oh, he gets away. Yeah. He knocks a pillar down and just escapes. But you go to the point and you find out where the signal was actually coming from. So what was the name of the
Caravel?
The Caravel. So the Caravel was one of the original ships that was supposed to launch with the Flores to come to the planet, which was what all Outriders were. The Caravel had an engine problem and exploded and supposedly killed all the Outriders. So within that fact, the Flores end up traveling by themselves and they end up hiring mercenaries to be Outriders, which is the big plot of the story, which is where your character comes from. So the Caravel was supposed to have been destroyed because of the engine. So the way they explained the whole thing, they lost everybody. All the Outriders were done or something. Well, maybe I've read too much into it. So the signal that you're receiving when you come to the planet, because y'all was in hyperspace sleep for 67 years. Then when you get there, you got the signal, which made you think that there was life on that planet or whatever. Come to find out, and when you finally get a hold of Monroy,
he should have been dead.
they're like, "What are you doing here? How's the Caravel here?" And he's like, "Oh, well, our engine destroyed, but we rebuilt a better engine and beat y'all here. It took y'all 67 years to get here, but we got here in 60." I was like, man, it was just like somebody just saying, "Boom!" And I was like,
it knocked all the wind out of you because you thinking this big deal, alien race. You know, I'm thinking that aliens landed,
wormhole or something.
Wormhole.
I would have took a wormhole.
You know, maybe.
Oh, we just built a better engine and shot past you guys.
Or maybe we could just in something.
It was like going plaid and Spaceballs.
Yeah, it was like
they went plaid.
Yeah,
that shot us by 100 years.
So we get there. He's doing his final speech. The lady smokes him, which kind of picks me off because then we have to fight Yagat, right? Again.
Now, how did he get more powerful after we whipped him the first time and he knocked down a pillar? Then you fight him again as the final boss.
And he got a lot of anomaly power. Now, my problem with that is I think that Monroy should have been the last boss.
Oh, he did jump in the storm.
Yeah, he did.
So he did make himself more powerful.
Monroy should have been the last boss. Why do I say that? Because the young lady in the wheelchair got cut with one of the crystals I'm about to mention, and it turned her into an altar. I think what the last boss fight of the game should have been Monroy cutting himself with a very strong crystal and turn it into an altar, and you had to battle him because you come to hate Monroy for all the atrocities he has done.
He is a catalyst for everything that went wrong. The whole reason the storms exist because that was the Pax trying to fight back against Monroy.
Well, not really. Okay, yeah, that, but no. The reason why the Pax were keeping the storms at bay with the crystals, the temples were there to, as the anomaly came, they would suck all the energy that the anomalies had.
Okay.
When Monroy wanted to know their powers, he was killing them, and they could not do the rituals that kept the anomaly, kept everything neutralized.
Because the way it explained at the end, because he was like, that anomaly storm is following us
because of the Pack guy.
Yeah. You got.
Yagat.
See, when he's sending the storm, so as soon as you land, you got send the storm after them.
I think what happened is the storm started brewing, and that's what happened because there was no temples to. You remember when?
No. I think you got sick that storm.
No. Remember when? What's her name? What's the little alien that follows you before it died?
August.
August. Remember when August was at the temple? She was doing this. The girl came in and tried to stop August, but the storm lightning hit the thing and it dissipated. That's what the storms does. They were supposed to do the chants, and without those temples,
maybe you're right.
Without those temples, the storm keeps on raging until they can suck in all that energy.
Okay.
But remember, when they suck in the energy, when she sucked in the energy, when she sucked in the energy, that's what empowered the crystal. So when she got cut, she became altered.
Okay.
So those crystals and the people were basically keeping the anomaly at bay.
Okay.
Every time it would brew up, they would go to the temple, do some type of ceremony. It would take all the anomaly energy away, and that's how they. But once he killed all the Packs, there was no one left.
Okay.
To do the exercises or do the routine for the storms to go away.
Well, thank you, Bill Nye, the science guy. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that dissertation.
So basically,
on fictional crystals.
Really, Monroy should have been the last. He should have been the last.
He would have been a more fitting boss,
right? Because you build up a hatred towards him during the.
Yeah, he earned a hate.
Yeah, he did earn a hate.
All right, so good. Those are 2 points.
Hold on, but Monroy, you know what he remind me of?
Who?
Hitler.
Why you say that?
Because the way he did the Packs. The way he just decimated them. The concentration, everything that he did remind me of the concentration camps and stuff.
Huh, maybe, yeah.
Because he treated them bad, dude.
Yeah, but they had to fight back.
Yeah, they had to fight back.
Huh. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go to post-game content. Now, we got it sectioned that way for post-game content because you fight Mordok, I mean, yeah, you do fight Morlock, which escapes. He makes the ground explode, and he clearly gets away. You clearly didn't get him. All right, what happened to him? All right, so in the in-game content, it shows
The pods.
when the pods come. He's there. He's looking up. Was like, neck start glowing. You know, he was drinking Red Bull or something. I don't know. Then the pods coming down. I was like, okay, so what is he going to do about that?
Right.
I thought Seth was still alive.
I hope he is.
Because his eyes was glowing when he was inside that little statue or whatever. I think he was like Han Solo in Carbonite. That's a Star Wars reference. A movie reference. Every single show, y'all. I'm doing it. All right, so... so I understand him getting away, but we need to find out what happened to them. That's going to be like the expeditions and stuff. Hopefully it covers all that. And you got. So you fight Yagat the first time. He hits the pillar, gets away, jumps into the storm, become mega Super Saiyan Yagat, and then creates like 7,000 of the energy balls things that we was trying to fight. And he gets away again. So mind you, every single bounty hunt that we done in this game,
we double tap their head.
it ends in a boom. He don't ask no questions. They don't bleed for their lives. He just said, yeah, boom. So why is Yagat surviving the pure onslaught of the skippity pats?
I think the reason why he survived because he might be one of the people that you have to fight in the what is it called? The expedition.
So probably, but technically, I guess he's not the bad guy because like you said, Monroy should have been the bad guy because Yagat only exists because he was trying to fight off.
But when they became those things, they became mindless. They became mean. They became evil.
Yeah, he was pretty savage.
And the Traveler.
Yeah, and the Traveler. So he was like, well, Squirt, come back to life. He was stabbing the dude. Come back to life. Come back to life. So that was crazy to sell. So what happened? He said, all right, well, I need to save him. I need to do something to save him, and indicating that he was going to do something more.
Right.
Of course, the expeditions will probably cover that too.
Right.
But it just left the loose ends, and I guess it's kind of pushed replayability.
And I think the expeditions, like, you know, cause I think I did one expedition mission, but I think the expeditions, you find out different things that happen to different people.
Yeah.
You know.
There was a forest expedition, there was a desert expedition, and there was a forward expedition.
Right. Shut up. And I'm sitting up there like a dummy, right? So right now we're going to give 2 grades for this game. Normally we wouldn't do that because even though we do like the game is fun. As far as once you go through the story, you have to replay. The replayability is fun. We're not going to lie to you. We've had fun playing it, and we don't have fun dying. We don't have fun with the bullet sponges. But we're going to give the first one, we're going to give on gameplay and just the fun factor of the game. What do you give it?
All right, so gameplay, which covers replayability and boards and farming and the actual overall funness of it. I want to go. There were some glitches in there, but I would give it a B. Leaning towards a slight B minus. Well, I would say B minus because part of the gameplay is a multiplayer aspect or cross console, which was janky.
Right.
I said a lot of times. So I would say B minus.
I give it a B. And I'm gonna give it a B because I've played it since we beat it, and I'm having fun with it. It's I want to say more funner, but that's not a word. It's best played when you are with some homies.
Yeah.
Is because you have a lot of fun.
The story by itself is compelling,
right?
But depending on which tier you put yourself on, can really be like boards that we've done together. We've done in 15 minutes. Now I did those same boards by myself. And it probably took me about 20-25 minutes to get off the board.
Hold on. We done the board so much that the bosses were so laden with health that we both of us was using our handguns, which is unlimited ammo.
And it was a side quest. It wasn't even a main mission.
To kill some bosses. So the gameplay...
We literally burned through thousands of rounds.
The gameplay and the fun factor, I would give a B. Because it's still fun. Now, I think my grade is going to be a C minus for overall score. I think everything was pretty decent, but I think the characters fell flat for me. and the story, the ending didn't stick the landing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'd rather have for them to had known that there have been people on there. They sent that ship before us to eradicate the people so that we could be the only ones left with the planet. And then that's why they wanted us to land to get there. That would have been a better ending.
I think they should have commingled, have like a Avatars type
Shut
situation.
up, man. Shut up. What is your? That's
And-
my. What is your final overall grade?
And they should be like, hey,
So mine's a C
August,
minus.
August, the way your nose splits in half and your two eyes like waver on the side, it's just so endearing. No?
No, can you?
Okay.
Give us your
So my final score, I would give it a strong C, virginal C plus, which is a high C. I would give it a high C.
Why?
Not quite a C plus, but I would say a good C. Like
Middle.
crusting. I would say crusting on a C plus.
Okay.
I
Why?
would say because I think it was very ambitious of what they was putting together, and story wise, I guess it made sense to a large genre of people, but as gamers and game changers, we've seen a ton of plots, a ton of plot holes, and a ton of stories, and the gamers now are just expecting more.
Got you.
If that makes any sense?
Uh-huh.
So we're like movie critics now, where we can we played so many games that when we see stuff, we kind of look for particular things,
Right.
and we can see if things weren't done to the best of their abilities. So it's hard to just glance by everything now. So,
Right.
so I would give it a C. That would be my final score.
So, as you can see, we're done with this. We're going to come with, hopefully, in the beginning of May, we have Resident Evil Village that we're gonna do.
Ha! But the 30th of this month, we're gonna hit the Returnals.
Yeah.
Try to hit you guys with some
Which,
review and footage of that.
hopefully. So, again, this is your boy Blitz. I said Blitz.
Yeah, you did.
This is your boy Blur.
It's your boy Blitz.
Oh, before we go, we have to do the channel thing. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share so we can build this gaming community. Thank you for all the new subscribers. We thank you. We thank you for rocking with us. I know we're fledgling and we're getting our flying feathers, and we're going.
Spread your
Wings and fly away to a place that I love. Okay, that's enough.
I'm sorry.
All right, this is your boy Blur.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Leave your comments in there. We're going to get back with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I do your job too. Don't be good.
All right, so this is your boy Blur,
It's your boy Blitz.
and we'll GC you
Later.
later. Pew, 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 pew.
Nope, I ain't doing it. I ain't going to do it.